We are so overwhelmed, truly, with love and gratitude to have you all here to celebrate with us. A special shout out, especially for those who came from far away, as far as London and New Zealand, respectively. So thank you for being here. Colleen and Maria, and to all of those who traveled and to everyone who had to take time off on a Friday afternoon to celebrate with us.
Your friendship has enriched our lives and our relationship, and it means so much that you are here with us today. Thank you so much for your love and support.
All right, folks, next would you all please join me in welcoming parents of the groom, Karen and Tom.
What would you like? It's your wedding. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit. It's a little bit intimidating to be a leadoff hitter, as it were, here. But, so it's official. Anika and Andrew are a branch off a variety of families. Or, as I was thinking in the middle of the night, they're really a new tree in the forest of humanity. And I like to think of them growing tall and strong. It's a parent's job to raise your children so that they leave. And when that's done, then there's a feeling of sadness and satisfaction. So Sharda, Anil, Pat, Rachel, Tom, I think we've done good. I think they've done good, and now they're launched. So, as we heard in their story and in their vows, Anika and Andrew are not ordinary people. And to think that they found each other is nothing short of miraculous. It's challenging to be both empathic and moral. People can do one or the other easily, but not both. So what's next for you with your wonderful ketubah and rules? In Jewish lore, it's very important, the phrase tikkun olam, healing the world. And God knows the world is in dire need of healing as fraught as it is. We're handing it, not just to you two, but to all of you, with our apologies. So now I say, hold the contradiction of empathy and morality. Be good to each other. Be good to your friends. Be good to the world. And find your own way together, which is good for you and for the world.
As usual, my better half outshines. But Andrew and Anika, I'm finally getting the hang of these weddings you guys are having. I've had a couple of friends and colleagues that are not real close to me. They go, why is Andrew getting remarried so soon? And, then I tell them about the wonderful Hindu wedding that we had in North Carolina, which brings me to my first toast, which is Sharda and Anil. Thank you so much. You have done such an incredible job of raising such an amazing woman. And it was so wonderful to meet not just you, but some of your family and friends, some of whom are here today. And it was really a wonderful experience. Mazel tov. So now, of course, the most important toast. Elliot. Elliot, thank you for your insight, your foresight to bring these two together. Otherwise, none of us would be in this room today. Mazel tov. Okay. I just want to say I'm so proud of both of you. I'm proud of you for the focus you have on doing the right and good things in the world, the focus you have on having fun with each other and your healthy lifestyles, the focus you have on your openness with each other and your communication skills with each other, which you, in your knockout vows today, really elaborated upon. And most importantly, your amazing ability to treat each other with respect and love. That is so wonderful. And Anika, I am so happy that you are part of our family. I wish the best happiness for all of you, for both of you in your entire life. Mazel tov.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, next I'd like to welcome up Aunt of the Groom, Rachel.
I better put these on. I won't know what I'm saying. Okay. So I was talking with my sister and brother-in-law, and we were talking about the wedding speeches, and we agreed that a virtue of the wedding speeches is brevity. And how often the speeches end up being about the speaker and not necessarily about the bride and groom. So from the get-go, I acknowledge this is all about me. So I do want to thank Karen and Tom for sharing Andrew's as he was growing up. I wasn't blessed with children, so he's my kid too. So it's been a pleasure and a joy to watch Anika and Andrew come and grow together, coming from different backgrounds. Anika, Indian, Hindu, Andrew, Jewish, Gentile. And despite all of these cultural differences, and in addition to enjoying many of the same same outdoor recreational activities and core values, there are some habits they also share. Rumor has it that each has been known to leave a plate or a dish in the living room. No. Before it makes its way to the kitchen sink. When my husband and I moved to Seattle, I helped with caring for Andrew when Karen was at work. There was a time or two when I would walk into the house and Andrew would say, "What are you doing here?" Because he knew if I was there and it was during the day, Karen was leaving for work. When Andrew was 5, my husband and I went with Karen and Tom to Hawaii, where they attended a medical convention. We entertained Andrew, or he entertained us. As a family, we took an excursion to see the volcano. After a bit, Andrew decided that he'd been in the car quite long enough. I honestly don't remember how long that ride was. Seemed like hours, but I kept him entertained and engaged, and someday I'll remember the story of the Fliegelwatts. I had the pleasure of learning about Anika over the past few years. I know she speaks incredibly quickly and at a frequency I can't hear. She can sit and work on a jigsaw puzzle for hours on end, demonstrating amazing focus and the ability to find the exact right piece that everybody else had been looking for. I'm pretty sure that's her superpower. It makes me happy to watch Andrew and Anika work together with respect and kindness. I look forward to being part of their lives as they write their future together. And please join me in wishing Andrew and Anika all the goodness that life has to offer, with just a little spice to make things interesting.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, next I'd like to welcome up stepmother of the groom, Pat.
Thank you. I'm so amazed. So I'm Pat, Andrew's stepmother, and when Andrew and Anika called and asked me if I would be willing to give a toast, I was super honored and also terrified. But I'm doing it. And I thought about what I would have liked to have heard perhaps when Andrew's father, John, and I were married, which was a long time ago, and a couple of lifetimes ago, to quote Joan Baez, who you probably don't know who Joan Baez is, but I've always wanted to say that. In any case, I know that Andrew said that I had 20 or 30 minutes, right? So I have like 5 pages, but I'll edit. I think I'll say what a lot of people have said and what you two said to each other, which is I just feel like it's so wonderful and amazing that in this big world, the two of you found each other with your friend's help, but that's like a fantastic miracle. And I just, sort of standing where you are, I envy that you have this big adventure of your life that you're sharing, and also an adventure that's a little different, which there's no Google Map for, there's no app, but just knowing each other and getting to know each other in the most like wonderful and deep way. It's just such a fantastic journey. So I'm very happy for both of you. Let's see. I think it's sometimes hard and it's sometimes scary, but it's inevitably beautiful. So I'm glad you found each other. So my wish for you is that may your home always be filled with love, and your path through the forest as you hike and do things, one that you choose together to pick the path, to choose your trail. When Andrew was little, and you probably won't remember this, but sometimes we would have these moments where it'd just be super special and beautiful. And I'd say, let's try to remember this. Let's like see this night sky or our puppy dog or some great moment with our family and say, just let's see if we can remember this. And I sort of want to say, it would be to savor it and to save it for later, but also to mark that You don't always have a lot of those moments, and it's nice when you notice them. So I feel like saying to everyone here, and to you too, let's remember this moment, because it's a wonderful miracle, and I'm so happy for both of you.
All right, folks. Next, would you all please join me in welcoming parents of the bride, Sharda and Anil.
Take my jacket off. It's so cold, I won't be able to talk.
Okay.
All right, first request was take my jacket off. It's too cold. It's too cold. I won't be able to speak. I know the camera won't take good picture, but I'm okay with it.
You know where I get it from.
There you go. Apple didn't fall too far from the tree. Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us tonight. Appreciate everyone traveling from outside. I met a lot of you. I know some of you from high school and even earlier, middle school too, some of you. MIT, Stanford, and many more places, I guess. And the people I don't know yet, I would love to know you, because once Anika stick with somebody, she's always a stick with it. So, Andrew, sorry. So I know everybody have said a lot of things, and not many of you want to hear a lot of things from me tonight. Must be getting boring. Dessert is getting cold out there. So once again, good luck to both of you. I can talk a lot of story about her. How many of you have seen Matilda? Yeah? Yeah, she is Matilda. I still remember she used to take the backpack to the library, which was in Salt Lake City, and she was in grade 4. 2 bags full of the backpack with the books, coming home with the bag. I just went to library, got the books. It was on the walking distance. And every time I miss her, I watch that movie. You know? So that's her. And I know being Matilda, she is going to be that way all her life. And Andrew, you're never going to be alone. So good luck. Thank you, both of you. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us tonight. Okay, one more thing. You know, my husband always pushed me ahead. You know, okay, you go. So this is what's going to happen here too. You go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, next would you all please join me in welcoming our lovely maid of honor, Sarah.
Okay, hello. Anika and Andrew, congratulations on your special day. It's a delight to be here. I would like to take a moment to recognize our amazing bride, one of my closest friends. Isn't she beautiful? I first met Anika early in our freshman year. She was canvassing the different freshman dorms, introducing herself as candidate for class president. I said, "Hi, who the heck is this girl and who does she think she is?" I remember wondering how she assumed she would be our natural born leader, only to soon find she very much is our natural born leader. I got to know Anika better throughout college as we studied material science together. I quickly learned that by sitting next to Anika in class and generally following her every move, was what was going to get me through the degree. I've also gotten to learn and love some of her quirks. When we lived together in Boston, Anika developed a reputation for her ability to politely invite our guests to leave at 12 p.m. on the dot, 12 midnight on the dot, regardless of the vibe of the party. She would have their coat and bag in hand and thank them very much for being on their way out. When we went to Seville and Spain one time together, I was silly. I invited her to come to a country where they drink wine, they eat meat, they stay out late. Anika does none of these things. We would eat an early tapas dinner together, and then she would send me on my way while she went back to sleep. There have been countless other happy memories, from spontaneous Taylor Swift karaoke to a whirlwind 5-day Italy trip planned by Anika, to extended runs and bike rides around Europe and the US. One time I visited Anika in an internship when she was doing in Jordan. She rented a car and drove us across the country. She had left her driver's license at home, and we encountered frequent security stops along the highway, but every time they pulled us over, she had full confidence, no fear. They had a look at us, they looked at our passport, they sent us on our way. Welcome to Jordan, they said. And it's just continued to be one of the wonders of my life, is to be able to join, to have Anika in my life. She is a true force of nature, and it's a constant wonder to be on adventures with her. I should say that when I moved to SF last year, I finally got a chance to get to know Andrew. And although I was all ready to be skeptical about this new person who was here to displace me, Andrew was kind enough to house me. Anika and Andrew housed me when I first moved here, and I got to see that actually they are perfect for one another. They have their own secret language, and they are incredibly thoughtful, often making decisions on behalf of their partner and what they know that the other will or will not want to be doing that night. Anika, you are incredibly special in my life, and I love you immensely. Andrew, you are also a delight, and it's been a wonder to get to know you. And it's gratifying to know that you are someone who I can see appreciates Anika as much as I do, and it's a joy to be here to celebrate you both tonight. So, thank you. Love you. I love you so much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and to close out our speeches, would you all please join me in welcoming Elliot?
Thank you. Well, first off, big congratulations again to Andrew and Anika for a lovely ceremony and a lovely party. I'm sure I speak for everyone saying we're so blessed to be here with you tonight. And also a big thank you to the parents of the bride and the parents of the groom for just raising such wonderful people. So, big moment. So at this point, I think we all know why I'm up here, and that's to talk about that fateful day 4 years ago when I introduced Andrew and Anika. During Happy Hour, Marie and I were just talking about how there's so many inconsequential moments in life, and this easily could have turned out to be one of those moments, but in fact, the fact that it turned into such a consequential moment is something that I was remarking on during your ceremony today, and it really hit me that how much impact this has on all our lives to be here because of this moment. So let's roll back the clock. It was May 2019, and I'll read you the first text that started this beautiful relationship. So it was May 11th, 2019, from me to Andrew. I said, "Hey, bud, a good friend of mine at school is awesome and single, and I thought of you to introduce her since you just moved up here. She's moving to SF after school. Thoughts?" So Now, I'll set the scene for why I sent this text. So it was our last quarter at the GSB. Anika and I were hanging out at a party, chatting about dating. Anika was lamenting about how disappointing the dating scene had been at Stanford during her 2 years there. So I asked her, what's your type? What are you looking for in a partner? And she responded, well, I like a guy who's handsome, has fun personality, and can also put up with my quirkiness, who's active like me, and is super intelligent. But, she said, and this is where her good consulting brain and soon-to-be private equity killer instincts came in, but, she said, my arbitrage is that I don't care about height. And that is how I'm going to win in the SF dating market. So now you're all starting to put the pieces of the puzzle together. Anika had just perfectly described Andrew. And I was about to be a great friend and a great matchmaker. So in that moment, I reflected on my friend group. I thought about Anika's perfect match, a handsome, social but quirky, physically active, hyper-intelligent guy who also could be short. And I responded to Anika, sorry, I don't know a single person like that. Now, the true savior in this story is my then girlfriend, Heather, who chimed in, what about your friend Andrew? I was like, and God bless Heather, because, I thought, you know what? He's definitely short. He's definitely quirky. And you know what? Yeah, he's quite a handsome guy, now that I think about it. And he's social, he's physically active. We all heard he climbs, he hikes, he likes to run. And his intelligence is definitely a defining feature. And, to boot, she doesn't even know about his big bubble butt yet. That's going to be the cherry on top. So I told Anika a little bit more about Andrew, and she said, yes, I need to meet this guy. And again, demonstrating her killer instincts and her bias for action, she grabbed my phone from my hands, drafted the text, and demanded that I send it immediately. And the rest, as they say, is history. But it's also the present and now the future. And I'm so grateful that that one simple text I sent to Andrew 4 years ago has led to this beautiful relationship between my two friends. So I wish I had more time to recount more stories since our lives have remained intertwined since. With Andrew helping me through a tough breakup, but also encouraging me in a new budding relationship. With Andrew and Anika being our first quarantine bubble friends in early COVID, so we could play Seven Wonders together. And to them moving to San Francisco, just 2 blocks from us, conveniently located so that we could be their laundromat and they could be our babysitters. So I'll wrap things up here. To Andrew and Anika, I love you both as individuals, and I'm so happy that you found each other as life partners. Your mutual quirkiness somehow meshes into a beautiful partnership, and I'm excited to continue to witness your continued growth, commitment, and love. So with that, let's all raise a glass, which I realize I don't have, but to Andrew and Anika, our quirky, beautiful, intelligent, and arbitraging friends. Cheers. Yeah, of course.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, can we get a warm round of applause for all of our toasters tonight?